joins us, Paul, Craig, and David on 365 Sports. And I guess the mother load right before you come on, Ross, perfect timing. It's now official. Aaron Rodgers to the Jets for a possible first-round pick next year. And, of course, they flipped those picks this year.
Yeah, I'm stunned. I really am. I can't believe the Jets gave up as much as they did. Because, they're swapping a 5th and a 6th. So even if you discount that, or swapping the 13th and the 15th, the Jets are giving them the 40s at a minimum. The Jets are giving them the 42nd pick this year and a second rounder next year. And that's only if Rodgers plays less than 65% of the snaps. If he plays more than 65% of the snaps, they get a first rounder next year. So to give up a 1 and a 2 for the right to pay Aaron Rodgers $60 million for 1 year I'm shocked. I mean, unless he committed to playing multiple years, I think this is a horrible trade for the New York Jets.
Do the Jets feel like they need to do this in order to compete with the Bills? And I mean, the Dolphins are up and down. The Patriots are in flux. Like, what was the need to do this other than the fact that they knew that Aaron Rodgers just didn't want to be in Wisconsin anymore?
Well, I think it's year 3 or year 2 for Robert Saleh, year 3 for Robert Saleh. It's year 4 for the GM. They've been in the basement of that division. It's a really tough division. They have a good roster other than quarterback. They screwed up with Zach Wilson. He's not good. And this is the way the NFL works. Desperate times call for desperate measures. What do Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh care about next year's first-round pick if they're fired? They need to have a good team this year. They need to make the playoffs this year. So they're doing what the Jets typically do, which is mortgaging the future.
Ross, I mean, looking at it, you made clear how you feel about it from the New York side. Green Bay, obviously, you feel like they got the better end of the deal, but how do you feel like this sets them up moving forward? Not to mention just the cathartic relief probably going around Wisconsin right now that this long national nightmare is finally over for the Packers.
Well, a couple things, right? Number one, a lot of people were really ready to move on from Aaron Rodgers. They were kind of tired of him. I don't know that was really the case with Favre back in the day. So I think that's a positive. The other thing is, I think there was some concern over whether or not Brian Gutekunst, the Packers GM, really knew what he was doing. He nailed it. This is a great trade for Gutekunst and the Packers, and Packer Nation can feel really good about the haul they got, about the GM they have. Now they just got to hope that Jordan Love's good.
What is your intel? We saw some of him last year near the end. What does your, Ross, intel or your thoughts about Jordan Love?
Well, I can tell you right now, I would be willing to bet he's not as good as the two guys before him. I mean, you're talking about 2 of the 10 best quarterbacks ever. I know you guys can't bet in Texas yet, but if there's a place to bet that he doesn't end up being as good as the 2 guys before him, I will. I mean, look, I don't know. I haven't seen enough of him. I don't think he'll be terrible like Zach Wilson. I don't think he'll be as good as Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers. I think he'll be somewhere in between. And quite frankly, the Packers just finished their 30th year in a row with a top 5 quarterback, and they have 3 Super Bowl appearances and 2 wins to show for it. I don't know. I guess I kind of feel like they should have had more.
Yeah, Ross, for sure.